You see that aeroplane that's right there off into the distance? Well, this is the view from my bedroom, and that aeroplane right there is on its way to Heathrow Airport. One of my friends is actually on board this exact aeroplane, and not as a passenger, he's actually the pilot of this plane. He lands at Heathrow Airport at 6:05, and I just checked how long it takes me to get to Heathrow Airport. I'm meant to arrive at Heathrow Airport at 6:09. I've got 4 minutes to spare to go and try and see my friend land this plane. I got to leg it to go and try and see him. But how about this? Many of you think that if you want to be in the aviation industry or want to make a lot of money, you got to be a pilot. It's not actually true. Let me explain. I know what you're thinking. Most of you probably don't realize that pilots don't actually make the most amount of money in the aviation industry. The aviation industry has so many different jobs, and so many of them make more money than a pilot. And I'm about to run you through all the top jobs in the aviation industry that make the most amount of cash. Let's watch this. But the thing is, make sure you stick to the end of this video because the information in it might not be as accurate as you might think. Coming at number 5, you have an airport operations manager. What even is an airport operations manager? Well, the person with the walkie-talkie, the person making all the shots, the person literally deciding what's about to happen to this entire airport is the airport operations manager. They understand the operation, meaning the stuff that's going on around the airport like nobody else does. There are so many things that the airport operations manager has to do as part of their job. Alright, we're almost there. I've got like a 10-minute walk till I get to the spot. I'm going to actually watch him land the plane. The place called Martel Avenue, which is just over there. I'm about to see if I can make it in time. Oh my god, let's see. This is how you know you've arrived to the spot. Oh yes. Check out the views! Now the airport operations manager is not a small job at the airport because if something goes wrong, if the weather condition turns to the worst, anything that happens, security threat, an operational issue, the baggage system shuts down, anything, an accident happens, something crashes, or whatever happens at the airport is the responsibility of the airport operations manager to call the shots and decide what is about to happen in this airport. The thing is, they don't do this all alone. They don't do this all alone. They have a dedicated team of people. They sit in a control room with a dedicated team of people who helps them decide what's the best course of action to take when we are about to operate this airport. So that's number 5. There you go. Just met Toby. Toby, say hi. Woo! So we go to number 4. And number 4, the air traffic controllers, the people who actually manage the aeroplanes as they come into land, the people who have that direct communication between the pilots. Well, I'm not pointing at myself, I'm not even a pilot. Between the pilot and between the air traffic controllers, the person who communicates, that is the air traffic controller. But they don't only just do that, they also do the ground operations. So they send all the planes on the ground and they send them around, all that sort of ground stuff as well. They manage literally the communication between the ground and the pilots in the sky. It's so cool, man. I just keep bumping into people like those 3 lads over there. Again, part of the community. Air traffic controllers literally sat up in the control tower, but not just in the control tower. They also sit in places around the world where they're communicating with the aircraft and they're sending aircraft around the zones. Like they basically segment the world into different sections, and different air traffic controllers have to send the airplanes around different parts of the world. It's interesting, and I'll probably make a whole video about it. If you want me to make a video about how air traffic control works, let me know down in the comments. I can make a whole video about how air traffic control works, because it can get really, really complicated, but at the same time, it's kind of simple. So that's air traffic control. And coming in at number 3, aircraft maintenance engineers. What does aircraft maintenance engineers do? Well, on the ground, they will actually inspect the aeroplane to make sure all the parts of the aeroplane are working. They'll do the walk around, they'll make sure the visuals look good, but also on a deeper level, if you need to change anything on the aeroplane, if anything's gone faulty, if anything's broken, they're the ones who are going to be changing all of those components of the aircraft to make sure that aeroplane is serviceable. Their responsibility is to make sure that aeroplane is serviced, it's maintained, and that it is nice and safe so that you can jump on it and go on holiday. Look at that, man. Honestly, this spot is so unique. You got ponies here, and you also got planes right there. Wow. Number 2 is pilots. Pilots, the ones who actually operate the aircraft. These people sit in that seat. They are the peak of what it seems the aviation industry is all about. The peak of that pyramid that actually flies the airplanes. Yet they don't make the most money across the whole sector. Can you believe it? Most people don't want to believe it. But what you have to realize is that they might not make the most money, but also their lifestyle is very, very different. something people don't realize is that a pilot never actually spends a shift with the same people, very rarely, especially if they work for one of the bigger airlines like British Airways or one of the other bigger airlines. They don't spend time with the same team. Every shift they come into work, they literally get lobbed into a group with different people and they just have to mingle, make friends. Some people enjoy that, but ask yourself, would you enjoy going to work each day, literally chilling with a whole new set of people? I know I wouldn't. I want to work with like consistent people. I like building long-term relationships, but pilot can build long-term relationships, but they just won't see those people maybe for another 2 or 3 years, which is a whole new lifestyle within itself. So if you're considering to be a pilot, definitely keep that in mind. And that leaves us to the peak of the iceberg. Number one, who makes the most amount of money in the aviation industry? And it might not be a surprise to you that the most amount of money made in the airport goes to the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, the person who actually runs the whole ship, the person who's calling all the shots. These people make a lot of money because there's a lot to think about. There's a lot of risk involved with actually being the one operating the entire airport. Think about how many businesses are relying on the airport to operate. So the CEO is the one who actually has to make sure that all these businesses are there to be able to sustain themselves, all the people who come to work, come and work there. It is a huge responsibility to be the CEO of an airport, and hence why they get compensated for all of that responsibility. So the CEO is number one. But here's where I'm sorry about this, but I've actually been telling basically lies to you all, because those top 5 aren't in the right order. I haven't ordered them in the right way. Those people make the most amount of money in the aviation sector, but they definitely aren't in the right order. The reality is that the order of those jobs that I just went through goes something like this. Let this plane pass and I'll talk about it. The order goes something like this. You naughty, naughty. Get out of there, man. You see, the truth is, the order in which these jobs are actually ranked, in reality, doesn't actually matter. And the reason why I tell you the order in which these jobs are ranked doesn't matter is because ultimately you want to find the job that you're actually going to enjoy doing. Because if you're the CEO of that entire airport and you're making the most amount of money, but truly deep in your heart, all you actually want to be doing is flying those airplanes, and what is the point of going for the job that pays you the most amount of money if actually you want to be flying the thing? If what you really want to be doing is actually sit there ripping apart the landing gear of a plane and fixing the airplane, then what's the point of flying it? Every single one of you needs to ask yourself a question before you start chasing the money as to what is it that I actually want to do. Once you figure out what you want to do, then you can start thinking about the money. But if you do something that you truly love, the money will come. I promise. The money will sort itself out if you do something that you love. Like me, for example, I chased becoming an engineer, not because of the money, because I loved problem solving. But while I was on that journey of becoming an engineer, I actually discovered content, and I discovered making videos and educating people about stuff, and I realized that I enjoy doing that a lot more than just being an engineer. So life is about a discoverable journey where as you go along, you discover yourself, and when you discover yourself, you realize that money really isn't the number one motivator. You should just do what you love, because when you wake up on a Monday and you love what you do, you live a life full of enjoyment. So let's watch my friend land this A380, and remember, just do the thing that you love and you'll never have to work a single day in your entire life.